what we did on Monday. There we go. All right, so guys, if you don't have your reference sheet out yet, get that out, okay? Because we're going to need that today. All right, so let's start with our what do you know question of the day. Our question for today is, what is a sector? What do you guys?
Circle?
Not the whole circle.
Half of a circle?
Or if
That
you're
little
close.
The little thing that's like this.
Yeah. That's
I don't
like,
know
so
it's
it's okay. It's like a part or a section of a whole. So it's a part or a section of a circle. If you think about a pizza, and a slice of the pizza would be a sector. Make sense? Okay. So here's a picture, and this is a picture I want you to draw, guys, of what a sector looks like. Right. The rest of our vocabulary is the same as what we had on Monday, because these are the words that are still really important for what we're doing. So the first one again here is arc, which is just a segment of a circle. Remember your picture looks like this. That outside edge here is a piece of it. Does anybody remember how far across a radius goes?
Half.
Good. It goes half. A line that goes halfway across your circle. How about a diameter? How far across does it go?
All the way.
All the way. A line that goes all the way across your circle. And it's really important to know the difference between the two.
You did say that this was going to be like what we did last time.
It's going to be very similar. The formula is just a tiny bit different. Guys, can I move on to the next slide? All right. Okay. So here's example 1. And example 1 says, what is the area of the shaded sector of the circle? So we've got our circle and our little shaded piece right here. So the first thing I want you to do is, what do you think? If it's going to be really close to Monday, is our formula going to be on the page 1 or page 2 of the reference sheet? Page 2, good. And we're going to look for area of a sector, find it, and I want you to show me where you see it. There, good. Towards the top.
I have a bootleg reference sheet, so
You see it?
so what's on your left is on my right.
There you go, good. You see it? You see it?
Yeah.
Got it? Good. Okay. All right, guys. So let's put that in. So it's on page 2. And so A, what does A stand for?
Area.
Area. Area equals pi r squared. If you don't want to write out degrees in a corresponding arc, you can just put degree of arc. Just kind of shorten it up a little bit here. Degree of arc over 360. The formula we used on Monday is right next to it on your reference sheet. Do you see how close they are? There's just like a little thing that's different. What's different in the other formula? We have an r squared. What does that one have?
2r squared.
2r. Yeah. So that's it. That's the only difference between the two formulas. Okay? All right. So, do we have our r? Does it give us our radius in this picture? is it?
6.
Good, it's 6. Will our radius ever have a degrees on it?
No.
No, it won't, because that's for our angle, for our arc. So our radius is 6, so let's plug it in. So pi times 6 squared times, what's the degrees of that shaded section?
60.
Good job. Okay, so let's put that in. All right, so we have pi times 6 squared times 60 degrees over 360. Okay, so the first thing we need to do when we have this is our exponent. Order of operations. Our exponents are going to come first here before our multiplication. So, what's 6 squared? Is that 12 or 36?
36.
Good, because 6 squared means 6 times 6. Nothing's happened to our 60 yet, so let's just plug that in. Think about what we did on Monday. What did we do to this first?
Reduce it.
Yeah, we reduce it. What's the first thing we do to reduce it? Get rid of the zeros. Good. So cross those zeros out. So now we have smaller numbers to work with. What is the biggest number that you can think of that'll go into both 6 and 36?
6.
Good, 6. So let's do divide by 6,
I was gonna
divide by 6.
say 3.
Well, that wouldn't have been wrong.
I was gonna give you my small numbers instead.
That's okay. Well, that still would have worked. You would have had to reduce a little bit more at the end, but you could still do 3.
No.
Okay? All right. Anything happening to our 36 right now?
No.
No, so let's just bring it on over. So we have 36 pi times, what's 6 divided by 6?
2.
Only one.
1.
One.
What's 36 divided by 6?
6.
6. Good. So we've got a whole number times a fraction. What do we do to this whole number to make it a fraction so we can multiply? Put our 1 under there. Now we can multiply straight across. Straight across. So what are we going to get?
36 over 6. And then you reduce 6, so your answer would be 6.
And how do we reduce it? What do we do?
36 divided by 6.
36 divided by 6. Good. And, oh, but is it just 6? Is our answer just 6?
6 pi.
6 pi. You got to be careful about that. You can't forget the pi. Well, sometimes, do you remember on Monday, did some of our answers not have a pi in them? Possible answers? Yeah, and those weren't right. We have to make sure don't forget the pi. One thing, guys, before we move on to our next example, I want you to look and see. Do you see how our units here? Our units are meters and they're squared, right? Anytime you see area, your units will be squared, okay? Anytime. So that's the correct way to do units for area is squared. Okay, any questions on this one? If you don't have any questions, go ahead and flip over to the next page. Okay. So, our next question says, what is the area of the unshaded sector of the circle? Underline area of unshaded sector. Are we given the degrees of the arc of the unshaded sector?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No. We're given the degrees of that yellow part, that shaded part. We're not given this part. So we're going to have to find that, okay? But before we find it, what do we do first thing always?
Write your formula.
Write your formula. Good. So let's put our formula in. Pi r squared times degree of arc over 360. Are we given our radius in this picture?
No.
What are we given?
The diameter.
We're given the diameter. So if the diameter, this is where we're plugging things in, of the circle is, what is it? 6
The radius is 3.
is 3, because what did you do?
Half of 6 is 3.
Half of 6 is 3. I was going to make this motion for diameter, I'm like, you cut it in half, right? To get your radius. So, now we got our radius. Now we need to find these degrees. Okay, let's find these degrees. There are how many degrees in a circle? 360, good. There are 360 degrees in a circle. If we know that this piece here is 120 and the whole thing is 360, Amy, that's perfect. We're
Don't
going
you
to subtract.
subtract?
You are right too. You guys are right. You're going to subtract. So we're going to say, subtract
120 from 360.
from 360. Perfect.
You're smart and you want to be.
All right. So somebody do that and tell me what you get. Do 360 minus 120. 240. Good. So I put it right there, and I'm going to write it over here. So I know that this is my sector over here. This arc is 240 degrees. Okay. Do we have everything we need now to plug it in?